Today we're going to talk about using a 3-bucket strategy for your investments to help you with your retirement planning. Coming up next. Hey, this is Mel Stubbs. I'm a financial planner here at Christy Capital Management. We aim to bring clarity in the confusion that is retirement planning. In today's video, we're going to go over a 3-bucket strategy. So the first bucket is the money that you will spend in retirement. Let's say your portfolio has $1 million in it. Maybe you're looking through and you see, you know what, $300,000 of this money I am definitely going to spend. Now maybe there's certain traveling you want to do, maybe there's a second home you want to buy somewhere. Whatever it is, you know in your lifetime you're definitely going to be spending this money. Then there's a second bucket of maybe money. This is money that you may spend and you may not spend. It depends on what life throws you. Let's just say for this example that you want to put $400,000 in this bucket. And then there's a third bucket of never spend money. This is money that you don't think you're going to spend in your lifetime. This is money that you think is going to be going to your beneficiaries and your heirs. Let's say for this example, it's $300,000 in this bucket. When you split the money up into these 3 buckets, it also helps clarify how these 3 buckets should be invested. If you think about the must-have money, this is money that you know you're going to be spending. That money should be more conservatively invested. If the stock market crashes in the next few years, you need this money to be available for spending. So it should probably be more on the conservative end, if not all the way conservative. So that's why for this example, we put $300,000 in there to be set up as conservative. Then let's jump over to the never gonna spend bucket. The time horizon for never gonna spend is quite long. This will allow you to be more aggressive with this money. It may also make sense to check with your beneficiaries to see how they want the money to be invested. I know right now we're working with my dad and his money. There is money that he has said he is never going to spend, and he wants it to be left to my brother and me. Now my brother and I are quite aggressive. If my dad is okay with it, and he's sure that he's not going to be spending this money, then my brother and I would like for the money to be as aggressive as possible. So by the time it finally gets to us, it can have earned as much as possible. Now our risk tolerance is more aggressive than my dad's risk tolerance. You know, we've had a family meeting, and we've talked over it, and we've decided that since he believes this money is not going to be spent in his lifetime, he's willing for it to be quite aggressive. Now if life circumstances change and he does need to spend that money, then by all means spend that money. If it does come to that, then at whatever time you realize you need to spend this money, it may need to be shifted into more conservatism at that time. But until then, the never going to spend money may, just may, make sense to be quite aggressive, especially if your heirs are aggressive. Now the middle bucket of maybe money is probably somewhere in the middle. Some of it can be aggressive, some of it can be conservative. The exact split would be determined based on your risk tolerance. This way, if you need to dip into some of this money and the stock market is not doing well, you can dip into the conservative piece of that money. If the stock market's doing amazingly well and you need to dip into it, then you can sell some of the stock market while it's high. Now the must-spend money is money that should probably be on the conservative side. This is money that you know you're going to be spending. If your risk tolerance is not very risky, then you will definitely want this to be conservative. Even if you're a really aggressive person, it still may make sense to have that must-spend money be fairly conservative. Being forced to take distributions when the stock market goes down, that's not the best. And so since you know you're going to be taking distributions, having at least some of it be conservative may be appropriate. Now since you've separated your money into these 3 buckets with 3 different purposes for the money, it allows you to have 3 different investment strategies for the money. You know, if the never going to spend money fluctuates a lot because it's aggressive, you know, it's okay because you're not planning on spending that money. And at the filming of this video, the stock market is down some. But several months ago, the stock market was at an all-time high. And by definition, an all-time high means that it's rebounded from every crash or every correction that it's ever had. And we've all heard the disclosure of past performance does not predict future outcomes. But usually, if given a long enough time horizon, the aggressive money will come back. And the fact that this is money that you're never going to spend lends itself to be aggressive. Now let's take this to the next level. You may have different accounts that are treated differently. You may have a joint account that's just regular old money. You may have a traditional retirement account like an IRA or a TSP or 401k. And you may have Roth accounts like Roth IRA or Roth TSP or Roth 401k. All of these will be treated differently tax-wise. Another planning step you could do is not only figure out how much money needs to be in each bucket, the must spend, the maybe spend, and the never going to spend, but you can also line up the types of accounts that you have that pair well with it. As far as tax planning goes, the never going to spend money makes sense to have that be Roth money. The longer it grows without being touched, the more gains it can have, and all of those gains will be tax-free. If you're never going to spend that money and the money gets left there for your heirs, they'll receive that money tax-free. It also pairs well to have a Roth money be more aggressive because the aggressive account should grow more over time. That extra growth, because it was aggressive, will also be tax-free because it's in the Roth account. So if it's suitable, having the Roth account be more aggressive can make sense. Now, the definitely going to spend money, it may make sense for that to be joint or not retirement money. Joint money has less taxes associated with it compared to traditional money. If you have an account that's a joint account, you only have to pay capital gains on the growth. Capital gains are taxed less than income tax brackets. And also, you're only paying taxes on the growth and not the entire balance in the account. So if there's money that you know you're going to spend, it may make sense to have that money also be non-retirement money. This means as you take the money out, you'll be taxed less than if you took it out of the traditional money. So the traditional money may make sense to be in the maybe bucket. If you don't spend it, it does have the tax-deferred growth, which is good. And if you do need to spend it, it's taxed at the tax bracket, which is not the end of the world. So this 3-bucket strategy is great to help you figure out how much of your money you think you're really going to spend. Maybe you're going to spend, or maybe you're never going to spend. But it's the next level planning if you can also pair it with the type of account it is. These little details can make a big difference over a 30-year retirement. Choosing what percentage of your money you want to be aggressive and having that aggressive piece be Roth, that can make a big difference over time. Lining up your Roth accounts with the investment strategy that should, remember, no guarantees, should yield the most return makes sense in the long run. Now, these are the little things that can help make your retirement work out better. If you'd like to work with a financial planning firm that has thought through these things, these little nuanced things that can make a big difference over time, please go to ChristyCapital.com. Please call the number on your screen. We would love to talk with you about your retirement plan to see how we may help you gain some clarity in the midst of confusion. I hope you found this video helpful. If you want to receive more information like this, please subscribe so you can continue getting this type of information. My name is Mel Stubbs. I'll talk to you next time. We need to do the proper disclaimers. The purpose of this video is not to give specific tax advice or investment advice. We're going over general principles and ideas that can be used, and if used correctly can save and avoid taxes. You're going to want to work with someone personally who knows your situation personally. So seek out advice from an independent financial advisor. This is for educational purposes only. I hope you enjoyed the video.